I will now call the December 12th meeting of the Education Professional Standards Board Waiver Committee to order. I am joined this morning by fellow committee member Eli Edwards. We have 15 waivers to review and formulate a recommendation to present to the full board. We will start with waiver A, presented by Brandon Herod.
Thank you, Chair Gunn. Good morning, everybody. The first one is a waiver of a portion of student teaching days for Catherine Braswell. This was submitted by Morehead State University. Catherine is the primary caretaker for her father to respect the privacy of them. I won't go into his illness, but he did become ill. She had to step out of her assignment, leaving her a few days short of her required 70 days. Another issue that she faced was she was placed in Fleming County where they had the flooding. So that reduced the number of days that she was able to get as well. The school has submitted some support and documentation of all the things that they did to try to supplement some of the missing days. And it looks like, I want to say it was, they observed her 4 times and received several letters from her school that she performed very well in her placement. And it was to, can't find the, I apologize, guys. I'm trying to find the number of days of requesting.
I believe she was 5 days short.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Was it that one or?
Yeah, I think it's 5 days short. Yeah, 5 days short. I apologize.
So Eli, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, 5 days is a full week, but if the school is asking for it, then is there a precedent on this one?
You have seen these before, and typically they have been approved because it was conditions that were outside of the district as well as the students' concern abilities.
Okay, then motion.
Especially
to approve.
but
I'm
and
sorry.
I second them. So we'll make the recommendation to approve waiver A.
Yeah.
Waiver B will be presented. Oh, same person.
Thank you. This one is submitted on behalf of Christina Los Calzo from the University of Kentucky. She is in the Master's of Arts in Teaching World Languages in the Latin area. They're having an issue trying to place her at the elementary level in Latin. There's not very many opportunities. So they are requesting for her to complete all of her student teaching at the secondary level.
All right. I'm motion to approve waiver B.
And I second the motion. So the waiver committee reviewed the waiver request supporting documentation submitted by the University of Kentucky, and the committee found exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, the committee recommends that the EPSB grant waiver B. So waiver C, same person.
One more time. So in this waiver, it was submitted by Midway University on behalf of Nathan Martin. It's an alternative student teaching placement request. When Midway reached out to Fayette County to place this student, they were seeking a cooperating teacher that had a middle school social studies certification. They placed them with a cooperating teacher that had both a social studies and math certification, but the district was only using this cooperating teacher in the math setting. Placed the student with this individual in the first week of the placement. They went over such things as like classroom management skills, lesson planning. They had one-on-one experience with students, and they discussed what kind of teacher that this student teacher wanted to be. Once they discovered that they were with a math student, they then replaced this individual, Nathan Martin, with the proper social studies teacher for that setting, for the middle school setting. So they wanted to include those 5 days because without those 5 days, then Nathan would fall short of his placement. So they just wanted to include those as an alternative student teaching placement, even though it was not in the content area.
I make a motion that we approve waiver C.
Second.
All righty. So the committee has reviewed, I'm sorry. The committee has reviewed waiver supporting documentation for Midway University, and we found that exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, we recommend approval of waiver C. Sorry, I'm trying to talk faster than I can. And waiver D will be presented by Crystal Horde, please.
Hi, thank you. Waiver D, I've got several of these similar waivers. I'm going to try to explain the first one and kind of move through the next few. Waiver D is brought forth by Boone County Schools on behalf of a teacher who falls short of the minimum GPA requirement. This is for an ESL position. The district actually has 2 ESL positions that went unfilled, and this person's can't remember, did we mention their cumulative GPA was 2.21. So it was below the 2.5 cumulative required for emergency certification. So the district is asking for a waiver of the GPA requirement for emergency certification.
2.21 is a little low. Do we have precedent on that?
We do, and if you remember last year,
I can't remember. Yeah.
There was a board waiver last year for the 2021 school year that allowed emergency certification to be we dropped it. The board waived it to allow anybody with a 2.0
Gotcha.
for emergency certification last year. However, these people that are going to be requesting, or the ones that we have waivers for today, were not people that were emergency certified last year. So they do not fall under that provision that allows them to get a second one in that language that was allowed by House Bill 277.
Okay. Then I'll motion to approve waiver D.
I second the motion. So the waiver committee has reviewed the waiver request from Boone County, and we found exceptional circumstances. Therefore, we recommend that we approve waiver D. Waiver E will also be presented by Ms. Horde.
Waiver E is also from Boone County Schools. This is the second ESL position that they had that went unfilled. This applicant's GPA was 2.26 cumulative.
I make a motion that we approve waiver E.
I second the motion.
All righty, so the waiver committee has reviewed a second request from Boone County and also found exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, we recommend approve the EPSB grant waiver E. So waiver F by Ms. Horde also.
Waiver F, the next two are from Bourbon County Schools. Waiver F is brought forward. This applicant's cumulative GPA was 2.44. It's for an LBD special ed placement. This person was just a 10th away from having a qualifying GPA that would allow the board's rounding policy to kick in. So they were really close. But and I should say that all of these people that we're going to see today, the majority of these are also working towards admission to option 6. So they're working on raising these GPA requirements as well. But just wanted to point out that this one was very close.
All right, make the motion to approve the waiver.
I second the motion. So the waiver committee finds exceptional circumstances justifying waiver F. Therefore, the committee recommends that EPSB grant waiver F.
Okay,
Waiver G will also be presented by Ms. Horde.
waiver G is also from Bourbon County Schools. This candidate for certification is filling a position in their alternative school that was a sudden resignation. This person's bachelor's GPA is 2.31 cumulative. And I should say, I remember, I noted on this one, being an alternative setting, they had 0 applicants for the position.
Right. I'll make the motion to approve waiver G.
I second the motion. Therefore, the waiver committee has reviewed the, paperwork submitted by Bourbon County Schools and found exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, the waiver committee recommends EPSB grant waiver G onto waiver H, also presented by Ms. Hort.
Waiver H is requested by Danville Independent Schools. This is for a special ed, I believe, an LBD position. The candidate in the position, bachelor's GPA cumulative is 2.23, requesting the waiver while working towards the program.
I make a motion that we approve waiver H.
I second the motion.
Alrighty, the waiver committee has reviewed the waiver request and supporting documents and found exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, the committee recommends that EPSB grant waiver H onto waiver I, also presented by Ms. Hort.
Waiver I is requested by Owen County Schools. This is for a Spanish teacher position. Something worthy of noting in this waiver request, this is I believe the first Spanish teacher that the district has been able to find in several years. I believe they said 6 years. They've had to teach it through credit recovery. This person's bachelor's degree GPA is 2.36, and they are working towards getting admitted to a program as well.
I make a motion we approve waiver I.
I second the motion.
After reviewing supporting documentations, the committee found exceptional circumstances for waiver I. Therefore, we recommend that the EPSB grant waiver I. On to waiver J, also presented by Ms. Hort.
Waiver J is requested by Powell County Schools. This teacher is filling a vacant position for special ed LBD. The bachelor's degree cumulative GPA was 2.26.
Motion to approve waiver J.
I second the motion. So we recommend that EPSB grant waiver J after reviewing supporting documentation. On to waiver K, also presented by Ms. Hort.
Waiver K is requested by Scott County Schools. This is for a middle school technology position. The applicant has a bachelor's cumulative of 2.35.
Motion to approve waiver K.
I second the motion. After reviewing the waiver request from Scott County, the committee recommends that EPSB grant waiver K. Moving on to waiver L, also presented by Ms. Hort.
Waiver L is requested by Williamstown Independent Schools. This is also for filling a special ed LBD position. On this one, I did the GPA calculation, both as I looked at the cumulative as well as the last 60. This person was closer on the last 60, and the last 60 GPA was 2.36. And they are working towards towards an option 6 program.
All right, motion to approve waiver L.
Second the motion. After reviewing the supporting documentations for waiver L, the committee found exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, the committee recommends that the EPSB grant waiver L. Ms. Hort will also be presenting waiver M.
Okay, that was all of the emergency waivers. Now, the next one that I have is a waiver request by Murray Independent School District Superintendent to waive the out-of-state recency requirements found in 4080. Out-of-state recency requires that an out-of-state educator who applies for Kentucky certification must be recent in preparation, have either completed their teacher preparation program within the last 5 years or 6 semester hours of graduate credit within the 5 years preceding certification in Kentucky. This teacher has been teaching for 31 years consistently in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Tennessee, having held certifications in those states while they were teaching there. They've now applied across the border in Murray Independent. The district superintendent provided documentation that this puts the border districts at a disadvantage when they can't hire teachers across state borders who have to do 6 hours of graduate credit, even though we no longer have a master's requirement.
Do we have reciprocity with Tennessee?
So there is one statute out there that does grant true reciprocity if you are national board certified and certified state, but beyond that, it is really just the certification processes of going through and looking at the certificate that they held. For them to be exempt from testing, they do have to have 2 or more years of experience in that other state. So there's not true reciprocity at this time, but we are seeing some developments in the area of a teaching compact that is currently being developed and put out to different states.
Good. Okay. I'm motion to approve the waiver, M.
Absolutely, 31 years. I second the motion. The waiver committee reviewing the waiver request submitted by Murray Independent Schools found exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, the committee recommends that EPSB grant waiver M. Moving on to waiver N, also presented by Ms. Horde.
Waiver N is a request by Ms. Lindsay Ackerman. This is a request to waive the 5-year assessment recency requirement found in 16 KAR 6010. Ms. Ackerman has been employed with the Diocese of Louisville at one of their elementary schools, I believe since going back to 2014 or 15. She completed an option 6 program. However, when she completed all of the components of the program and would have been eligible to apply for the professional certificate, she didn't do so at that time because where she was at a private school, they didn't require the certification, and it kind of just fell off her radar at that time. Now she's wanting to apply for the professional certificate. She took her final elementary PLT praxis assessment in 2021. And upon applying for certification, she found out from our office that the other elementary tests that she had taken in 2016 and 2017 have already exceeded the 5-year recency requirement. So she is requesting a waiver of that portion of 6010.
All right. I'll motion to approve waiver N.
I second the motion. The waiver committee has reviewed the waiver request and supporting documentation submitted by the applicant. The committee found exceptional circumstances justifying the waiver. Therefore, the waiver committee recommends that EPSB grant waiver N. On to waiver O, also presented by Ms. Horde.
Waiver O is a request by Ms. Elizabeth Siano. She is requesting a waiver of the requirements in the rank 2 regulation 16 KAR 8020. Ms. Siano is a certified business teacher, currently rank 3 in Kentucky, and she is requesting that her Master's of Divinity be accepted towards rank 2. She did provide documentation stating how it was relevant to her business content, and that has been provided for your review.
This was the one I had really was hesitant about or had questions about.
So when we bring these to you, it is because it's not one that our staff is able to approve in-house based on the guidance that you have given us in the regulation and in past practices. There are still some that we bring to you because they are borderline, and you look at those and decide, yes, this is closely enough related. I can see where this content of the master's aligns with the content that that teacher is teaching and does give them an additional benefit there that should result in the rank 2. This is one of those cases where it is very difficult to see that there is alignment between the Masters of Divinity and the certification that this individual holds. So if you feel that it does align and it is, enhancing that teaching certificate, you could approve for the rank change. If you find that it does not enhance that certificate, then you could deny on the basis that it does not qualify of exceptional circumstances for a rank change.
One thing that I might add, typically the only, in the past, our staff, when we review degrees such as this, a Master's of Divinity or any type of religious studies degree, the only time that we've used these as a content degree for rank change is when the person is certified in social studies, because there are some courses in the social studies program of studies that are the historical context of the Bible. What was that?
English.
And there is also an English course called Bible as Literature that we have allowed this type of degree. So this
That's
is,
what I'm struggling with, is to go for a business.
so that is why, we provided that information to the candidate who was applying for rank change. However, they still wanted to pursue the waiver appeal. So we bring it to you and let you all make the decision.
Yeah, it's a stretch. So I make a motion that we deny the waiver.
I second the motion.
All righty. The waiver committee reviewed the waiver request and supporting documentation submitted by the applicant. The committee did not find exceptional circumstances to justify this particular waiver. Therefore, the committee recommends the EPSB deny waiver O. Hearing no further discussion. Okay. At this time, the waiver committee meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, guys.